Now, Brussels is planning to talk Latin American countries out of boosting agricultural exports to Russia. That's according to the Financial Times, citing senior EU officials. Nations such as Brazil and Chile were set to meet the shortfall when Russia introduced a food embargo on a range of European products in response to EU sanctions. And more on that from our correspondent in Berlin, Peter Oliver.
Well, following Russia's decision to ban the import of certain foodstuffs and agricultural produce from Europe as well as other countries in retaliation to the sanctions that were imposed, the economic sanctions that were imposed on Russia, we understand that Brussels are going to try and contact some countries in Central and South America in order to dissuade them from selling the blockaded, the banned foodstuffs to Russia at a decent price. Now, what we're particularly looking at is countries like Brazil and Chile. Now, Brazil has already seen this as an opportunity. It has long trading history with Russia. It's set to open around 90 meat processing plants. It's expected that Brazil will be the place that Russia goes to try and get its beef and pork. Also, Chile, which is set to be the place it goes to for fish imports that it's no longer accepting from the European Union. Now, those farmers that are here in Europe, well, they're saying that when Washington and Brussels came up with the sanctions against Russia, they weren't thinking about them and they didn't think about the consequences it could have.
When making a decision to impose sanctions on Russia, the EU should have realized that businesses will have problems, that Russia won't let it go and will take responsive measures, for which we are paying right now. We need access to the markets. It would help solve the deadlock situation in which, for example, the fruit sector is in.
Elsewhere, Poland is preparing an appeal to the WTO, the World Trade Organization, against the sanctions imposed by Russia. They say that it infringes upon the rights, particularly apples were a huge import to Russia from Poland. What they're saying is it goes against WTO rules. Russia says not in the slightest, doesn't infringe upon anything that the WTO suggests. And it says that nobody was complaining to the WTO when sanctions were imposed on Russia. So what we're seeing is these tit-for-tat sanctions starting to bite, and the people that they're impacting on the most are the farming business and the agricultural industry in Europe.
Robert Olds, who's the head of the Bruges Group think tank, believes the Latin American countries won't bend under the pressure from Brussels.
Well, really, it's time that the European Union, as well as perhaps even the United States, stop dictating to other countries around the world, Argentina, Brazil, Chile. So really, it will be in their economic interest to expand their trade with Russia. This is a very good opportunity for them and to forge closer links with Russia as well. So really, these countries will not bow to pressure from other states, and they will look to expand their links with Russia, just like China has recently done in terms of gas and oil supplies.